Music. We need to understand where Alexandra Eala was both professionally and emotionally when it happened. It is February, Music, 2026. At 20 years old, she is no longer just a promising junior or future prospect. She is a legitimate contender for the biggest titles in women's tennis, knocking loudly on the door of the global elite. She recently reached a career-high ranking of world number 40. Music. A testament to years of relentless, unglamorous work across hundreds of matches in dozens of countries. She is the undisputed pride of Southeast Asia, a region long hungry for a true tennis icon. The pressure on her every time she steps onto a court is immense. When Alex plays, it is not just Alexandra playing. Millions of Filipinos wake at 3 a.m., huddle around buffering live streams, pray in living rooms, dorms, and break music rooms, and carry their hopes alongside hers. She bears the dreams of every young Filipino girl who has ever picked up a racket, imagining grand slams and glory. Music. Coming into the Qatar Open, expectations were sky high. She had just delivered a magnificent run in Abu Dhabi, reaching the quarterfinals in singles and semifinals in doubles, playing with a confidence and clarity that signaled she was ready for the next stage of her ascent. 2026 Music could be the year Alexandra Eala truly breaks through. By every measure, she was playing the best tennis of her career. Then the Qatar Open began. Music. In the first round, she faced Teresa Valentova, the rising Czech star known for her aggressive baseline game and remarkable composure. It was a genuine battle. Alex pushed the first set all the way to a tiebreak. Music. Displaying the grit and determination her fans adore, but the tiebreak slipped away in agonizing fashion. The second set, Music, collapsed quickly, leaving her with a crushing 6-7-1 to 6 defeat, a brutal, premature exit from a tournament where she had legitimate hopes of going deep. Music. Critics were immediate and relentless. Voices of doubt flooding social media. Can she handle the biggest stages? Music. Is the pressure of expectation too heavy? Is the weight of a nation's hopes grinding her down? The noise was deafening. Now picture this. Physically and emotionally exhausted, frustrated and disappointed, facing the quiet, dark voice in her head, questioning herself. Most athletes in that moment would retreat, headphones in, eyes down, walking off the court. Alexandra Music. Eala did something entirely different. She saw Elena. Music. She ran toward her. And that moment tells you everything you need to know about the character of this young woman. The hug was not a publicity stunt, not a calculated move. It was a pure human music act that revealed her heart, courage, and empathy in the most profound way possible. The hug was not a publicity stunt, nor a calculated act of brand management. It was a 20-year-old professional athlete moments after a devastating loss, finding within herself the capacity to look outward, recognize another person's pain, music, and choose connection over retreat, a statement of character no scoreboard could ever measure. And now we arrive at the part of the story that belongs in a Hollywood screenplay. Music. A screenwriter submitting these events would be told it was too perfect, too convenient, too inspirational to be believable. But this is not fiction. Music. In real life, when it decides to tell a great story, life does not apologize for drama. After the emotional whirlwind in Qatar, the first-round loss and the viral moment with Elena, Alexandra Eala flew to Dubai for the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships, one of the most prestigious WTA 1000 events of the calendar. She needed to reset, to music, breathe, to clear the noise from her mind and find the version of herself that had played brilliantly in Abu Dhabi just weeks before. And perhaps, just perhaps, that hug with Elena gave her something no coaching session, tactical analysis, or physical training ever could. A profound emotional fuel, music, a reminder of why she plays and the courage to rise again. Perhaps it reminded her in the most visceral and undeniable way of the pure, primal joy that first drew her to a tennis racket. Perhaps knowing that a woman had sold her most precious possession just to see her play ignited a fire in her belly and clarity in her mind, transforming the way she walked onto a court. Elena may not have been physically present in Dubai, but she was there in the way all significant human encounters remain as a weight. Music, a reminder, a guiding clarity of what truly matters and why. When Alex stepped to the baseline against Cersei, when match point pressured down like a physical weight, She carried with her the knowledge that a 72-year-old woman had given everything to witness her play. That was not a burden. It was a gift. The clearest answer to the question every athlete must confront. Music. Why am I doing this? Eala was doing it for Elena. For every person who has found light in someone else's fight during a dark moment. For herself at 20 years old, magnificent music. And only beginning to understand her potential. Somewhere in rural Victoria, Australia, music. In a small house, missing the necklace that once held decades of memories, a 72-year-old woman sat in front of a television, crying at every point and cheering loud enough to fill the silence of an empty room. Across all the upsets, comebacks, rivalries, controversies, music, and chaos that make professional tennis compelling, the story of Alex and Elena is one that transcends sport. It is about how greatness reveals itself not music, just in skill, but in the character, heart, and humanity that underlie every moment of triumph. This story is ultimately about presence and empathy, the way a person's humanity can shine through every interaction. It is about how suffering can coexist with hope and how hope can survive even the deepest material losses when anchored to someone who represents the possibility of transcendence. Music. It is about how a single authentic moment of connection, a running embrace on a dusty court in Doha, can ripple outward in ways neither the giver nor receiver could have anticipated. Above all, it is music. About perspective. In the pressure cooker of professional sport, athletes are taught to eliminate distraction, to focus inward, to treat every loss as a catastrophe and every opponent as an obstacle. Yet, Eala, music, at just 20, chose to look outward, to see the human being in the wheelchair, and to run toward her. Many athletes twice her age never fully absorb that lesson. That the stakes of the scoreboard, however music real, are dwarfed by the stakes of human connection. When you internalize that truth, match points do not get easier. They become easier to play. Music. As Alex continues through the Dubai Championships and the extraordinary chapters of 2026, music. We are reminded to watch differently, to see the player as much as the ball, to honor the courage, vulnerability, music, and improbable grace that underlie every point. We cheer not just for winners and break points, but music. For moments like the one she gave Elena, moments that transcend the scoreboard and reveal why sport matters. Somewhere in rural Victoria, in a quiet house, missing the necklace that once held decades of memories, a 72-year-old woman watches every point, crying and cheering as Alex carries the weight of a nation, and the memory of a hug onto the court in Dubai. This is the beauty of tennis, the beauty of sport, and exactly why we are champions tennis. Your voice matters. Join the music conversation, share your thoughts, celebrate the story of kindness and courage, and witness history in the making. Smash that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and share the story with everyone you know, because moments like these remind us that the world still contains breathtaking, uncalculated, completely genuine human decency. Keep your heads up, hearts, music, open, and never underestimate the power of running towards someone who needs you. This is Court Eva Tennis. We'll see you on the court. Alex, after a terrific year last year, how does it feel to be making your main draw debut in Melbourne? It feels great. I'm super excited. Coming in surprise excited Abu Dhabi gone rate a different script this script.